Hey, what's up? This is your host from Self Mastery Session. Welcome to our second episode. Today we'll be talking about how to optimize your life and different tips or tricks to optimize it. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hope you enjoyed the episode. See you on the field.
All right. Okay.
Guys, okay.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yo, okay, so guys, thank you so much for the feedback on the last episode. Actually, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. We got great feedback.
We got a bunch of comments.
Very surprised and glad you guys enjoyed it. We fixed the audio, we fixed the mic, we fixed the audio and we fixed the camera. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Gonna give you that focus a little bit more. Today we're gonna dive into how to optimize your life. Which is going to be a quite interesting subject, but right before we start, I just wanted to mention that I was very grateful for all the feedback on the last episode and everything you guys said, the comments, the likes. Man, I couldn't ask for more on the first episode, so I'm very grateful for that. I'm sure JP is too.
And everybody who came to see us at school, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I'm like, yo, what's the frig you like the most? What's the thing you like the least?
we
asking everybody.
bully people, what did you hate about it? Yeah, it was good.
It was great, man.
It was funny. So optimizing your life. So we're mostly going to talk about health to optimize for certain things in life, right? So there's mental health, physical health, and spiritual health. We're going to dive more into like mental health and like physical health.
Yeah.
We're going to dive a little bit more into that. But first, before we start, I just want to set the stage. I want people to understand what are seasons and like how do you identify them?
100%. So a season is basically a period of your life. Well, you will have like a constant. That's how I see it. So a period of your life could be that, all right, well, look, for the next 6 months, I'm going to bulk. That's a very easy one. And bulking in fitness means that you're going to eat a caloric surplus to add on muscle mass, also a little bit of body fat, which is then after your bulk, you probably want to go on a cut. So that's another season in the fitness realm where you're going to have a constant, which is a caloric surplus. This is going to be followed through with another constant, which is going to be a calorie deficit, and then probably a period of maintaining, which is like the third season, right? And then you're going to have season in your life constantly rotating. So let's say right now, the season for us is this podcast. This is the season. Like this is our work. This is the season. We're not going to be going out and doing anything else. We're not going to be wasting time with people drinking or anything because we're focusing on the podcast.
Exactly.
This is the season of becoming better speakers, like we said in the last episode. And this is the season of the podcasts.
And this is why I wanted to make this episode because it's really important to clarify what you need to optimize for. So if you're somebody who's like a martial artist and you got competitions coming up, you got to optimize for that, whilst we are optimizing mostly for, well, the podcast right now. So optimization will vary depending on what you're trying to achieve. So that's why do you need to optimize?
First, I want to give a PSA. We are not doctors. We're not professionals. We'll only give you what worked for us. And worked for us might work for you. If you find any valuable advice, awesome. If not, leave a comment. Feedback is greatly appreciated. Your question was?
Why would you optimize?
Well, in life, you're born with two things. You're born with a bank of time and a bank of energy. Okay? And everybody has somewhat the same amount of energy. And everybody also has somewhat the same amount of time, right? Jeff Bezos has the same amount of time as you. If he lives to 85 years old and you also live to 85 years old, you guys have had the same amount of time. And energy, same thing. Some people are born for freakishly amount of energy, but most people have the same amount of energy. And then the thing is just where are you going to put the energy the best? How are you going to get the most bang for your buck? So by optimizing, that is getting the most bang for your buck. It is with the finite time that you have and finite energy, how can you get the most returns? How do you get the highest return on investment? That is for me optimizing.
Yeah. So I wanted to make that clear. Just to make sure what you're trying to gain from this episode. Know that I'm going to quote the great podcaster, Chris Williamson.
Of course.
Phenomenal dude. Always got some good episodes. Go check him out. Modern Wisdom. Phenomenal podcast. Listen, we got to help each other out. What he said is basically trying to be perfect will kill you faster than your imperfections. So you can optimize this and optimize that, but at one point you can only optimize so much. And remember that this country was built on like dudes that ate bacon and smoked cigarettes for breakfast. So
Drove without seatbelts.
drove without seatbelts whilst being drunk. So like you can only optimize so much, but you try to do your best every day, right? So as an introduction, what can you optimize for? So for example, there's multiple spheres I optimize for. So like powerlifting. So I mostly orient my nutrition around performing in the gym. Whilst I think you optimize mostly for cognitive performance.
Yes, precisely.
Which are different worlds, but quite similar at the end of the day. And I think it's interesting because at the end of the day, you're always making the same thing. Like for vegans and carnivores, like they're all gonna like boost the benefits, but at the end of the day, they did the same thing. They started eating clean, started eating properly. That's what makes the difference, not the vegan or the carnivore diet, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I said, for example, I optimize for powerlifting and cognitive performance. So they go hand in hand. It's like when you make a workout program, sometimes you can optimize for strength and hypertrophy at the same time, depending on the volume and stuff like that. So what other things can you optimize for, and did you try to optimize for?
Well, what I definitely recommend everybody at home is to optimize for their current purpose, right? Mm-hmm. Purpose was the thing I was talking about last episode. I'm just going to catch you back on yet again. Purpose is the thing you care about in the moment, and is very closely related to the season of your life. Let's say right now your purpose, your mission is to become a martial artist, like you were speaking, and winning your first amateur fight. Then you want to align, this is a quote from the Way of the Superman, align everything from your career to your diet to your purpose. Mm-hmm. To me, optimizing is that. Aligning everything in your life from your career to your diet to who the people you speak with to what you do first thing in the morning to your purpose.
Actually, you said The Way of the Superior Man, and I cannot love that book enough. I just thought about it this morning, actually.
I love that book.
A little tangent, but yeah, no, phenomenal book. If you guys didn't read it yet, what are you doing, bro?
Go read it.
Click off, go read it.
Click off the podcast. Get the PDF, man. Come on.
But come back after, please. We need the views. We need the views.
The retention goes back.
Like, fuck. Honestly, sorry, we're all over the place right now. But last episode, we got like 120 views as of today. And I think like the retention rate was like 14%, which is actually pretty good. Like I'm gonna take it. Like the lowest like retention rate was 14%. So I was like, damn, okay, some people pay attention, and I'm really grateful for that again. But that's not the subject. Bro's off a tangent. We're on coffee. We're 8 hours of sleep. We're fired. You know, we optimize.
Get your sleep. Get your sleep. Don't forget that part. That part's important. Get the sleep.
Yeah. Okay, so you optimize for cognitive performance. Give us an example of what you would do in your diet. And like he said, that's what he does. That's what he does to get his results now. It might not work for you, but if it works for him, you know, that's the way to do it. So how do you orient your diet, your sleep, and your training according to your current purpose?
Awesome. Great question, actually.
Phenomenal.
So my current purpose is obviously becoming a great speaker. And I'll give you an example from literally this morning. Right. So at the moment, we're about 8. I've been awake for perhaps like 3 hours, woke up at around 5, something like that. And so the first thing I did this morning was not eat breakfast. And I still haven't ate anything today. I've only drank coffee. Why? Because I feel like I'm a better speaker. I feel like my mind is clearer for me personally when I have not ate anything. Now, people do make the argument that carbs is what slows you down as opposed to simply protein and fat, which I do find to be true, but I also do believe that personally, when I eat nothing at all, I'm the best at speaking, I'm the best at my purpose, and I'm the most optimized for the activity that I'm trying to perform. So a very simple example. How am I optimizing? Well, this morning I woke up, I took my cold shower, really got hit with it, and I did not eat anything, and I was just sat there, and I was thinking about this podcast and how I'm going to do well and how I'm going to speak that's the same way I'm doing right now, and that is how I optimized this activity right there. Mm-hmm. Very simple. I just didn't eat. To me, I feel best when I don't eat to record, and then at some point I will eat after the podcast and then go to the gym and of course everything. But that is how I optimize for brain cognitive performance, especially in the morning. I just don't eat the breakfast. And if I am going to eat anything, I'm not going to have carbs, or I'm going to have limited carbs inside of that. And,
you know, science will contradict a lot of things that work for some people. Like, for example, intermittent fasting. Like scientifically, it is shown that it increases doesn't increase cognitive performance. In fact, it increases alertness and focus because you kind of get that fight or flight reaction. But like if that focus and that sharpness you get from intermittent fasting like makes you work harder, at the end of the day the work's going to get done. Well, even if your cognitive performance was technically higher, that it wasn't going to be done, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's why intermittent fasting, I personally loved it. I did it for a long time, but that's not what I'm doing right now. It's because for powerlifting you do need a lot of carbs because it's all one reps, it's explosiveness. You need a lot of carbohydrates, but as intermittent fasting as a whole, I enjoy it. I think it's great. A lot of people are going to hate on it. The whole science community is going to hate on it. But listen, if it works, right? So that's a great example. Now, for me, the way I do it, for example, today, I try to get as much sleep as possible. A lot of people, they asked, like from the last episode, they asked specifics or they asked like action steps. So like for example, I go to bed at around like 9:30 and I wake up around 5. I get as much sleep as possible. Today I woke up at 5:50 actually. So if you look at it, you really try to get as much sleep as possible, but you don't want to oversleep either. Like you don't want to spend 12 hours in bed. Like that's sad. That's simply sad. But yeah, that's what I optimize for. So start with getting as much sleep as possible. I get in the shower. I don't do the cold showers anymore, but that's just because I'm a bitch, honestly. Because scientifically it has a lot of benefits. It has its downsides, but I just skipped it because I'm a bitch. Like so, but now I say it, so tomorrow I'm gonna have to do it because I have to do my cold shower, you know. And yeah, I only eat a little tiny bit in the morning because I also feel that being hungry kind of increases my focus and my alertness. So I don't eat as much in the morning, but I keep loading up on carbs as the day goes. So as closer as I get to my workout, I get as many carbs as possible. Mm-hmm. During the workout, I explode. Always have phenomenal workouts, great pumps, because I just have those carbohydrates. So if you want specifics, I pretty much eat a little bit of carbs for breakfast, barely any for lunch, but right before the workout, I eat a lot of carbs. Like bread, sometimes pasta, sometimes rice, like a lot of bread and a lot of carbs because that's going to give me that explosiveness and get that performance for powerlifting. But since I also want to get that cognitive performance because I also want to get the work done, that's why I don't eat too many carbs in the morning because that's what makes me a little sluggish, a little slow. You can notice it now. Like go in the world, go outside and like really focus on your performance with carbs or not, because you're not going to feel it. Like I can tell you about it, you're not going to feel it until you actually do it. Try to feel like if you have a really carb heavy meal, the difference in your ability to speak, your ability to think. I know that, like for example, in the morning, if I have classes in the morning, I'm sharp as hell because I really don't have as much carbs in my body. But then at lunch, if I eat too many carbs, I know those last 2 periods are going to be like awful. But if I didn't eat that much carbs for lunch, I'm still going to be sharp. So yeah, that's great. Okay, so introductory questions, we're done. So you guys know what we're talking about. You know what we're optimizing for. You know about us. If you have any questions in the comments, leave them. The algorithm loves it. Okay. We love the algorithm, guys. So what are the steps to clarifying your goals? First of all, what to make sure what your goals are.
Okay, what are the steps of clarifying? Well, it's very simple. Think about what your perfect day would look like to you. So I'll give you an example of what my perfect day would be in a reasonable time, in like 6 months. This would be my perfect day. I would wake up, do my nice morning routine, probably go on and run. There would be sunlight hitting me.
Of course. We
need
vitamin
D. We love the vitamin D. Then I would go to the gym, hit a big workout, take a shower, and directly go to work and sell cars. Sell cars for like the next 8 or 9 or even 10 hours. I mean, if I love it enough, I can stay there all day. And then get home, read, fall asleep, and then repeat the next day. To me, that would be a fabulous and wonderful day. And so what I've done right there is I've set the gap between where I am and where I want to be. And now you just have to solve for X. So what does this guy have that I don't? Well, you are a collection of 3 things. If you take the Carl Jung philosophy, you are a collection of skills, beliefs, and characteristics. Well, what are his the dude who's selling the cars, me in 6 months. But what are the skills, beliefs, and characteristics that he has that I don't, right? So I've set the goal of this is where I want to be in 6 months. Then you probably want to add some tangible figure. So let's say yours is fitness. Well, then you want to add a tangible figure. I want to be able to bench X amount. I want to be X% body fat. I want to be this body weight, right? If you're going to carry a surplus, or even if you're losing weight. Then once you have a tangible goal, like I said, sell for X. What does he has that I don't? And the mistake a lot of people do is add a restricted time frame to that. Don't add a time frame. Because if every day you are trying your best, if every day you have a vacuum in which you are filling your time with the most activities possible, you will reach the goal. Don't worry about time frames, right? You don't want it to take 10 years, obviously, but focusing on short time frames will only leave you disappointed. If you think in 3 months you're going to be making $1 million a month, I'm sorry to break it to you.
And I saw a comment on the last episode that, thank you for the person who wrote that comment, by the way, who said that sometimes, because we talked about setting high goals for yourself,
Yes.
sometimes setting goals that are too high is going to demotivate you. And you're not, what you want to do is like chew away at it every day, right? It kind of goes hand in hand with what you're saying, because if you work hard every day, the goals are going to achieve themselves. But what I do for goal setting, which goes into optimizing, because you want to optimize for those goals. What I do for goal setting is I set myself goals like 30 years from now, 40 years from now, what I want. And then I just keep segmenting it into lower goals. So you have your long-term goals, your midterm goals, and your short-term goals. So you don't know what your short-term goals are. You know, we're talking to a lot of young people, so you have to know that at our age, we do not know what the hell we want. But what you might want and what you might want to achieve in 40 years, set it as a goal now. So, for example, you want to make $1 million a month. Set that as a goal for 40 years from now or something like that, or 10 years from now. And then set halfway through that, what can you do halfway through that, which will be your midterm goals, to achieve that long-term goal. So what are the goals you want in 5 years? And then once you have those, you can have your short-term goals. So what can I do in the next 6 months, your next year, to get to that goal in the midterm? Because they're all going to go click. It's kind of what does that? It's like some games where once you do one thing, everything unlocks, like a Sudoku. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once you get that one number, everything unlocks. And it's very similar to that concept. So
I have a counter question for you.
Yes.
Actually. So you're saying, if I'm setting this goal for $1 million per month,
Yep.
no specific time frame. Of course, I'm not expecting it to take I'm expecting it to take a long time.
Yeah, a long time and long term. Yeah.
I have a counter question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Arnaud, I am 20% body fat right now. I'm 15. What the hell are you talking about in 4 years, 50 years, making $1 million, man?
True.
I just want to be in shape.
You just want to be in shape.
Man, my goal is I just want girls to look at me.
Well, listen to JP in that case, because where you talked about going at your full potential every day, and actually, I like to read a little bit of not like religious text, and in Judaism, how do you call it?
Perhaps Jewishism?
Jewishism, something like that. I'm very sorry if I'm butchering it. Okay. It's a sin to not perform at your highest self. So if you're Jewish, it's a sin to not perform at your best. So I think that's a very beautiful value to have. And that's why a lot of Jewish communities are rich as hell, guys. The math is there, okay? So kind of get that principle into your life. Try to achieve your best every day, even if you really don't feel like it. And that's going to build discipline. Because what's going to make you a winner is your discipline. Because you can work like a horse for one day, but the next, you're not going to want to do it at all. And this is all a paradigm shift. You have to change your mindset. You have to kind of put yourself in the shoes of a new person, almost change your skin. How do you call that?
Change your identity?
When snakes
shed your skin.
Shed your skin, exactly.
Yes.
I'm searching my words, but you kind of have to shed your skins.
Deep breath.
to get into that new person you want to be, right? So I think it goes well with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't people stick with their goals that they set for themselves?
Well, did you write it down first? Did you write it down? That's the first thing. Because most people have, okay, everybody has goals, right? You're not special for having a goal. Okay, everybody has goals. Your mom has a goal. Your dad has a goal. Everybody has a goal. And your parents might actually be very successful, which is awesome for you. But everybody has a goal. But has anybody even written it down? First of all, write it down. And then what you want to do is you want to optimize and align 100% of your life to that goal.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you want to basically obsess over it. And the way I obsess over things is that I write them down and then I stick them up on my goddamn wall.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my monitor in my room, and then just right over my monitor, I have papers, like a bunch of papers that I stuck up.
He looks crazy.
I do look crazy, yes. My mom walks in my room. She's like, Jumbo, what is this? And I'm like, don't worry, mom. It's just written in big, make money. No,
Make money.
Kidding. But you need to obsess over your goals. And the reason why a lot of people don't achieve their goals is because they start coping, or they do the contrary. In the way the Superior Man, it talks about how you need to live at your edge, which is the pinpoint between the difficulty of the task you're doing and your skill level, right? What a lot of people do is that instead of being right at their edge, imagine like a mountain, right? Imagine instead of being right at the edge of the cliff, a lot of them just one day they just freaking jump off. They say, oh, I want to lose weight. And then they go try to run like 10 miles. And they might actually do it. They might actually run the full 10 miles in one day.
Which is crazy.
And then you're like, oh my God. But then guess what? They don't run ever again. And then who cares? You ran one time for 10 miles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Alex Hormozy was saying this when he was selling gym memberships. Alex Hormozy, a big fitness guy. He used to own
We
a bunch
recommended
of gyms.
his book last episode.
Yes, $100 million offers.
We love him.
He was saying when he would be selling an 8-week boot camp, he would tell the clients, Lucy, no one cares if you got the 8-week program, you lost 20 pounds, and then you gained it back. No one cares. A lot of people, the reason why they don't go through with their goals is because either they stand so far from their edge that they're making no progress, and then they see no results, and then they give up because there's no positive feedback loop, or they think of themselves as David Goggins, and they're going to go and run this 20-mile thing. Well, guess what? You won't do that every day. And then you're going to stop, and then nobody cares you were fit for 8 weeks, Lucy. Lucy.
Who's Lucy, man? Poor her.
A lot of people don't stick with their goals because, look, I'm not telling you to like go out, improve 1% every day because I don't really like that advice. But I'm just telling you, stick with what you can actually do and don't agonize. How do you say that? Don't think of yourself as bigger than life, right? I have this friend, which is probably watching the podcast. Hey, you're gonna recognize yourself. Where he is very inconsistent for many days, and then for 1 week he's like, oh, I'm gonna run 10 miles every day, and then he runs 10 miles every day for a week, and then he doesn't run for like 4 months. Well, you did nothing. Nobody cares. You ran 10 miles for 1 week. You did nothing. Be at your edge. Don't jump over the cliff. Don't be standing far away. And then it says that in the book. Embrace your fears. Don't kiss your fears. Don't aggressively violate them, but don't push them away either. Just be comfortable with them.
Absolutely.
And this is how you're going to achieve your goals. Just be at the edge. Don't stand far back, but don't jump over the cliff either.
Exactly. And consistency is what's going to make you achieve it. So if you live at your edge consistently every day, that's where you're going to achieve those goals. So your long-term goals, whether it's in 10 years, 20 years, you're going to get them. If your goals is to get shredded, I get a lot of compliments for my physique and stuff like that. And when I get compliments, I'm like, don't compliment my physique. You need to compliment the work I put in, the discipline that I had, and the consistency that I had. Because I remember those times where I was alone in the gym. There was not a soul. And every day I went there, I was alone. Because I've been lifting for a while. Now, a lot of my friends started lifting as I was lifting. So like JP, for example, he started lifting. But I've been lifting for so long. And I was alone most of the time. Not so good workouts. Like my technique was awful for most of like all the videos I have in the past, right? So, but what got me to this point is not my genetics. It's not my parents. It's not anyone. It's the consistency that I put in by living at my edge. So when you train to failure, for example, you're kind of living at your edge because you can't really put that extra rep, but that's like the most you can do. So that was beautiful. Quoting The Way of the Superior Man.
Like 4 different times.
Guys, if seriously you need to go read that book. Actually, I'm tempting to read it like right now as we speak. I'm tempted to just go like Just read it. Just read it, man. Phenomenal book. And yeah, but you know, we talk about fitness a lot, but can you bridge that to other aspects of your life now, like as people that are like entrepreneurial, people that want to run their business, or people that are in school? You know, we have a lot of our listeners are in school. They're trying to get educated. They're trying to get like whatever you're trying to achieve. That it's gonna be the same thing. It's staying consistent and trying to be your best every day. Now, I don't particularly like school. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm kind of bored in there. But for some people where their future is on the line in school, perform at your best. Like, you have no reason not to, because you only have positive to gain from it. And actually, from not doing anything and just sitting there and just doing weird stuff, what you're gaining is absolutely nothing. You're simply wasting your time. So keep consistently working hard. You know what I mean?
And we just need to give action step. How do you go about trying hard? Because everybody likes to say like, yeah, I'm going to try hard. I'm going to try. But what is trying hard? Okay, so let's take the school example. Trying hard to me is simply intensity. The same way you're going to have intensity in the gym, where you're going to keep pushing. You're going to have your face red and you're going to be sweating. Let's say you're running on the treadmill. You're going to have intensity and even aggression at that point. You can have the same type of maybe not aggression, but same type of intensity with your schoolwork. And this is where it gets kind of deep. Well, why is it that you can't be intense with the schoolwork? Why is it that you just can't give your full self? Well, that might be because deeply you don't really care about it. And you're only doing it for your parents. And matter of fact, well, you don't even care about the degree. And that's not even what you want to do with your life. It's not even your purpose. Because to do something with intent, to do something with intensity, you need to see the return on investment. But if you don't see it, you will never try hard.
And if we're going to quote the way of the superior man again, there's one principle that is live as if your father was dead. Now, I love my dad. I love him, okay? But like, I'm not trying to wish his death here. But you can't do anything for other people. A lot of people are going to say, I don't care about what other people think. Everybody does. Everybody somewhat cares about what other people think. But you're going to be more peaceful with yourself and in life in general if you just let go. If you just, like, one thing that really changed the way I thought and the way I spoke is when I had a conversation with my parents one night. And I love my parents, guys, okay? And after that, I was like, you know what? I can't be bothered to just do anything, like, to please them. Because nobody's going to be satisfied with whatever you're doing. People are going to hate on this video right now. They're going to hate on this podcast just because you're going to get negative feedback anyway. And like I talked about on the other podcast, pessimism sounds smarter than optimism. You're optimistic about your life. You're optimistic about your goals and what you're trying to achieve. But you got other people in your life just telling you, I don't know about that, man. I really don't know about that. So you need to live as if your father was dead. You need to love your parents. Like, they did bring you to this world and they provided for you, but you can't do anything to please them. And I think that's something that is very sad, actually, because when we're sat in class, we get we just got the Cégep applications back, right?
Yeah,
for
college.
People that college, which is basically the same thing for people in America. And some people got declined, and I asked them, well, why do you want to go? And most of them is like, so I can get a good career, And the more you dig into it, the more you realize they're not doing this for themselves. You're 17. I'm 17.
I'm 16,
He's
guys.
16. This young guy. Who's this 16-year-old on my couch? Like, get him out of here. No. Like, you're clueless. I'm clueless. He's clueless. Your parents are clueless.
We sound smart here. We're clueless.
We're clueless. One thing that our math teacher told us this week that I thought was very inspiring, actually, is he tries to always be a different person. Not that he's trying to pretend he's another person. He's not crazy, right? He's not like, doesn't have multiple personalities. But he said that he always tries to be a better person, and that's why he doesn't get tattoos, for example, because when you get a tattoo, it just puts an example of your past. And I realized that we're off tangent as hell because like this is about optimizing life, but you're gonna find this interesting.
Keep going.
You need to be a new person, and you can't be a new person if the person that you are right now was set by some other people. That was hard. That was hard, guys. That was hard.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. If the person that you are right now is set by your parents, for example, if you're someone who's trying to be a doctor, for example, but you never had any particular interest in medicine, then, and you know deep down when you actually think about it, you sit down and realize that you're doing this to please your family. And I completely get that. It's natural because your parents provided so much for you. You kind of, you feel like you owe them something, but as a parent, it's their universal right to provide for you. It's not their right. Sorry. It's
Obligation.
Their obligation. So you don't owe them anything. Like, even your parents can say whatever you want, but like they're probably going to die sooner than you. So are you really going to live your life with somebody who's not going to be there for the rest of your life? And one thing that I said to JP this week, which I thought was very inspiring, is no pain is real until it sticks with you for the rest of your life. You know,
Wow.
you can...
That's so good.
You can get stabbed, but if you survive, you just got stabbed. Like, if you don't have anything in particular that sticks with it for the rest of your life, you just got stabbed, okay? If you get punched in the face, now me and JP did a lot of martial arts. You get punched in the face, you go home, you're good, you're happy, your life is good again, you're eating your food, you go to sleep, you're good. Like, a punch, it hurts on the spot, but it's not going to hurt. But something that's going to hurt, for example, is losing your legs. If you lose your legs, that's gonna hurt because you live with that for the rest of your life. That's pain. That is pain.
Same thing with PTSD.
Same thing with PTSD. Mm-hmm. If you have any trauma that you're living with for the rest of your life, that's pain. So don't try to please anybody, because your parents, for example, or any people that are putting pressure on you, well, they're not going to be there forever. And you need to love them in the present moment and not think about what's
And be grateful.
And be grateful that they're there, because why they're asking you to do these things is because they truly care for you. They truly, deep down, they care for you. They love you. So that's why well, if they don't, then that's another story. And like, there's other issues to fix. But the reason why they want you to have a successful career and have those high standards for yourself is because they love you. But sometimes they throw you in things that you don't want to get into. And if you're optimizing your life for something that's for a goal that somebody else set for you, you're not optimizing for anything. You're just praying for your own downfall. So after those wise words, do you have anything to add to that? I thought, oh wow, I was
very,
like,
very off tangent, but
so
powerful.
off tangent, but powerful.
Are they really complaining? Come on, man. Are you guys really gonna complain that this was gold?
Your attention span, guys. Work out your attention span. This is a attention span workout.
We're gonna get to in the mental health thing also. We're gonna get to
yeah, and because we talk about optimizing and stuff like that, but you know,
optimizing for who?
For who? Who are you optimizing for?
And
you right now? You in 50 years? Who are you optimizing for? And you need to live in the present moment. I think Conor McGregor said that is, person who lives in the past is depressed. Person who lives in the future is anxious. Person who lives in the present is happy. So stop trying to think about like, oh, my parents, they want me to do this, they want me to do that, or somebody wants me to do this, or I don't need to do that because that's the only way I can be in a good place in society. You're not living in the present moment, and that's why you're anxious. That's why you have those mental health issues where you fall asleep at night, you scratch your head, and you're like, you got hair falling out because you're so anxious if you live in the future. But if you live in the past, you're like, I used to have this. Life was so great back then. That you're just depressed because you just lost everything, right? But
action steps before we move on, because I feel like we're about to move on sections.
I'm about to move on. Hey, what's up? Quick intermission here. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment right down below. Leave a like, subscribe, go follow us on social media. Hope you have a great day. See you on the field. Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
action steps. So this whole thing was pretty much about goal setting.
Yes.
Right. So we're gonna you can also help me with this. Action step. Write go back to the last episode or just think about it right now. What is your current mission? What's your current purpose? And then you want to put that into a sentence. So the way I put it into a sentence is like this. I'll just give you an example. I want to make $10,000 a month through sales by becoming a great speaker. So the template is this. I want to X through Y by becoming Z. Right? Pretty simple framework. And that is a framework I use to set the direction. Now that I've set the direction, then you need to chew at it a little bit. You need to tell yourself, well, is that goal worth it? Because he with a big enough why can bear almost any how.
Man,
that's Nietzsche for you. If I have a big enough reason to do something, I will do it. You right now, if I told you, hey, can I shoot you? You'd go, no, please.
No.
And then if I told you, okay, well, if I don't shoot you, I'm going to shoot your little brother, then you might be, okay, fine. Because it's a big enough why. It's a big enough, like, if there's a home intruder, you will die for your family. I hope. Because it's a big enough why. It's like you're sacrificing yourself for your family. That's a big enough why. So then you can bear almost any how. How are you going to protect them? Well, by sacrificing yourself. It's the same thing with this. Make sure the goal is big enough so that you can bear almost any how, but don't be delusional. Don't delude yourself. And don't set unrealistic time frame either. Like my time frame is like 2-3 years from now. But making that amount of money at 20 years old or 19 years old, that's life-changing. It's more than my parents make. And they're a lot older than 20 years old.
Yeah, be optimistically realistic.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And so you have that goal, and then you want to make out your perfect day. It doesn't need to be too, like mine isn't very precise. It's just like wake up, run, gym, work, sleep, read, right? It's not very fancy.
It's not science. And one thing that JP said to me like a long time ago is like, imagine a billionaire's day. And you'd be like, is it complicated? And when I was there, I was like, well, they have a lot of things on their plate, they probably have a complicated day. But what's giving them that consistency is just having like simple things that they do for a long time and hard and intense, like you said. So they're going to wake up. They're going to do whatever little morning routine they do. If you're Jeff Bezos, you wake up at 7 or something like that. He takes a shower and then he's good. He's good. He's moving. He's working. What's working? Well, it's working. Whatever he has to do that's related with his work, that's working. Maybe he has time with his family and some things like that. And when he said that, it made you realize that, well, optimizing for your life is actually making your life simpler and making it more like grounded. Because if you're all over the place all the time, then you're not gonna achieve it because you lack consistency. So I really love when you said something like that.
Successful people don't do more things than you. They do a lot less. Sacrifice until you get to the root cause of things. Let's take pro NBA athlete. He doesn't do more things than you. He doesn't. You're there. You go to school. Then you go on TikTok. Then you're texting this chick. She doesn't even really like you, bro. I'm sorry. Then you're telling me that you're gonna do push-ups tonight, and then you don't do any push-ups tonight. I know you're watching.
I know you're watching.
I know you. I know what I'm talking about. And then all this stuff. The NBA athlete. He's waking up. He's like taking a shower. He's going to train, eat, sleep, repeat. It's like what's his name? Khabib. He was like, wake up, train, eat, sleep, repeat. Easy.
Easy.
He doesn't do sacrifice. Please, for the love of God. This morning I woke up. I just sat there with my coffee and I just thought about the podcast. I did nothing else. Like I got ready, of course. But after that, I just sat there and I waited for this guy to show up to my house with the car. I was just thinking about the podcast. I didn't start doing a million things. You only have a finite amount of energy. Don't put in every single direction. You will get nowhere.
And one thing you need to optimize is your brain points. That's something we recommended to Hamza, I think, last episode. He talks about brain points. So like, let's say you have 100 brain points in your day. You wake up, you open your eyes, you're at 100. If the first thing you do is check your phone, check Instagram, you just lost like 1 brain point or 1 or 2. And
probably more.
You go brush your teeth. I mean, yeah, please be hygienic. Like, please brush your teeth. But if you keep doing little unnecessary things, you're just using your brain energy for nothing. And that's, I think it's beautiful. What he did this morning, he just woke up. He didn't waste his brain power. I had to like set up the podcast. I kind of used my brain power, but you only have a finite amount of brain points in a day. And Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah.
I just sat down and I just thought I preserved them until I got here, and now I can just spill the knowledge to you and to give the final action step. So yeah, set out your perfect day, find the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Look at that dude, see what are the skills, characteristics, and beliefs that he has, and the way that you're going to become that person is through actions, affirmations, and visualizations. So actions, let's just say you want to become a pro runner. Action is go running. Another action to have the characteristic of a runner, man, dress like a runner. Like that hit me the other day. Me and Arnaud were training for a race.
Keep going.
I just started wearing an Apple Watch. Like the runners wear Apple Watches. I want to become a runner. Characteristic of a runner, wear an Apple Watch. I just started wearing an Apple Watch. I'm not wearing it right now, but I usually do. I wear the same windbreakers that they do. I changed my whole shoes to only wearing running shoes. That way, all this fucking time, I'm ready to run. Change it. So that is like an action thing that are going to affect your skills and characteristics. Because as you run more, you become a better runner. And so you improve your skill of running. The characteristics at the same time also when you change literally how you dress. Like I put on these clothes this morning that are fancy. And I literally sat up straighter in my chair. Do you know how powerful that is?
That is powerful.
Like, think about it. When you go to church, don't you dress fancy, you feel fancy, and your words are fancier, your actions are fancier. Fake it till you make it. If I dress like a runner, I run like a runner, and I talk like a runner. Aren't I a runner?
And I think that's beautiful. If you guys thought we were going to talk about exactly the amount of sleep you need to get and exactly what the amount of carbs you need to get in your day to the optimal performance, that's not really what we're trying to achieve here. What we're trying to achieve is get you to have a paradigm shift to your new personality. So actually my next question was, how do you shift your personality to get to your goals? And you kind of touched on it, is like start dressing like one. Like I know me and JP, like we're goofballs, okay?
A little bit.
We like to like kind of be funny, I guess you could say.
Boisterous.
Boisterous, yeah.
Boisterous. Is that normal?
I think it is. Sorry, guys, the laptop just shut down. I hope you guys are still alive. Wait a second. Okay, we're still alive. We're
recording 45 minutes.
We're still alive.
We're keeping that in.
We're definitely keeping that in. So, what was I saying?
We're boisterous.
We're boisterous. But when we come here, we get nice clothes. We dress nice. We change the way we speak because we're trying to be a podcast. We're trying to be podcasters. So, like, if you want to be a podcaster, well, act like somebody they got different podcasts. Okay, so like, let's set this straight. We're trying to be a self-improvement podcast and a business podcast.
Want to be eloquent? Dress eloquently.
We need to be eloquent. We need to be well-spoken. We need to look good. If we were like some humor podcast where we were trying to just crack some jokes, Joe Rogan wears a hoodie whilst his guests sometimes wear suits, because the goal that Joe Rogan is trying to achieve is having just a nice conversation with the other person. What we're trying to achieve is make you be a better person. This is not about us. We could say we're trying to fix speaking, but what we want to do is help our community, help the ones around us to be the person that they want to be and stop fighting like life, trying to fight the fight that you want to fight. There has to be some other word for fight, but you get what I'm saying. And we're trying to, my question was, how do you shift your personality to be the next person that you want to be? Well, what do these people do? I'm trying to be a car salesman. I like selling cars. What do car salesmen do? Well, I don't know. They know cars. So today, actually, I'm fixing my Toyota Yaris. I'm going to change the suspension, change the brake pads, have a lot of maintenance to do on it. That doesn't have anything to do with car sales, but it has to do with cars. I'm not selling any car, but it has to do with cars. You got to know about cars. What do car salesmen do? They look nice. They dress nice. They got nice haircuts. They smell good. What do you need to do? Action step. Dress nice. Talk nice. Smell good. It's really that simple. Just identify what these people are doing and try to shift into that. Shift into that mindset. If you look at realtors, what do realtors do? Well, have you ever seen a realtor that looks like he just got out of bed? No, they always look fresh. They bake fresh cookies for the house if they're good.
They're just like me also.
They're just like JP.
Just like me.
So shift into that person that you're trying to be. Shifting your personality really isn't that easy. Just you like he said, you got running shoes, start wearing your running shoes if you want to be a runner. if you want to be a fighter, well, I know some fighters out of school, you know, wear a Venom shirt or something like that. Or if you're trying to be anything, just trying to get in, fake it till you make it. I can't say anything other than that, like, honestly.
And this is great because who you are right now is the mic. Okay, who you are right now is your current identity, correct? And so let's say you are sorry.
Yo, he just pulled a Pope.
I don't think that's a reference.
Oh my God.
Let's say So who you are right now. Okay, and I'm gonna take an example of somebody in my class, which you're also probably watching this. So hey, you're gonna recognize yourself. Let's say you are this tall, lanky kind of dude. You're not able to really be consistent with the gym. You're not very consistent with your sports. You have difficulty gaining weight, and you spend most of your time playing video games. Well, that is because you dress, you act, and you believe, and you see yourself as that type of person.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to affect this directly. So let's say when I was young, I wasn't very much so a gamer, right? I would like go and play in the park and stuff like that when I was like very young. So like 6-7 years old. Then as I was getting older, I started making friends with people who had PS4s and Xboxes, and they were gamers, and they talk about Terraria and stuff. And I was like, oh, I want to do that too. And so what I did, sorry?
Let me hop in.
So what I did is that I bought an Overwatch shirt. I was dressing like a gamer. I bought the headset. I bought a PS4. I had the things that a gamer had. I started speaking like one. I started consuming the content of gaming YouTubers. And guess what? I became a huge gamer. That was my whole identity. In school, I made a PowerPoint on my top 5 favorite games or something like that. Mm-hmm. We could have we were able to do a freestyle presentation. So I made a presentation on like my top 5 favorite games. Like I was deep-rooted gamer. Why? Because I had the skills, the beliefs, and the characteristics of a gamer. And I want to touch on beliefs. Because I'm not sure if I said this last episode, but I'm going to say it again. This is from Carl Jung, I believe. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life. And you will call it fate. How I'm sitting right now, I just realized how I'm sitting right now is a projection of my self-image. Same thing I told you. I was wearing these nice clothes and I started sitting up straighter. My self-image changed. And how you act 95% of the time, it's like you're in an NPC mode. Non-person, not player character. It's like the way you view yourself is the way you're going to sit. A lazy person sits like a lazy person. It's the truth. It's like I'm full of energy, and when I speak, I have my hands moving everywhere. That also might be because of the coffee, let's be honest.
Yeah, we're cracked.
We're cracked. But even in class, when we don't have any coffee and we're honestly quite bored, if I'm going to speak, I'm going to speak with energy because that is the person I am, because that is how I see myself. And the way you affect your beliefs are this. You can imagine it like a balance, right? It's like a tipping scale. And then you're going to have 2 buckets on each end. And every time you're going to live through an experience or think back about a memory of that experience, it's like you're going to throw a rock inside one of the 2 buckets. And it's always a sliding scale. No belief is absolute. So let's say you have the belief that you are a gamer. You have a belief that video games are great and that they're not that bad for you, bro. Trust me. I saw this one study where your hand-eye coordination is better. Bro, just play sports. But okay.
Bro, you ain't no doctor, bro. Come on.
You ain't no doctor. But so then that's because you read the study, so you had an experience. You played video games, more experiences, and you stacked a bunch of rocks in the video games are good bucket. Mm-hmm. And so then you identify as a gamer and you believe video games are good. And that was literally me. And then what I did is I started looking at the contrary. Well, if I don't play video games, what happens to my life? If I looked at the actual issues with video games, how it fucks up your dopaminergic system, how it fucks up your attention span, how you gain nothing out of it in your life, how it's a waste of time, I started stacking in the bucket of video games are bad, and I dipped the scale back in. If you play video games, come on, bro. Hand-eye coordination, go do some martial arts. You'll get the hand-eye coordination. Yeah, I promise.
You'll get hand-eye
coordination.
And brain damage.
And your initial question was, I got a little bit.
How do you shift your personality to become the person you're trying to be?
Yeah. So to optimize, it's literally this. Start looking at things like runners. What beliefs does a runner have? A runner, a great runner, has the belief that he is a great runner. And so literally, you just once a day or twice a day, just sit down, close your eyes, 2-3 minutes. Doesn't need to be longer than that. And just say to yourself, I'm a great runner. When I run, everybody looks at me. My feet touch the ground and I take off immediately. I sprint super fast. My form is amazing. When I run, people look at me because of my great form. My pace is wonderful. My cardio is fantastic. And then you're going to trick yourself into believing that you are a great runner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's beautiful. But yeah, and some people might be, well, they're off tangent here. Like, what are they talking about optimizing? Like I said, like optimizing goes way deeper. It's about becoming a new person. It's not about how many calories you're gonna eat in a day, because that's simple mathematics. You know, you go online. If you, quick tip, if you're trying to bulk or you're trying to cut, just go look up your BMI, not your BMI, your BMR, so your base metabolic rate online, and then add. If you're bulking, add 200. If you're cutting, decrease 200. It's
Calories, and that's it.
We're not trying to tell you what's like the specific way to train, because no one cares. Like, you can find that information online in a Google search. What we're trying to give you is really trying to change your mentality for the most optimal way to become the new person you're trying to be.
So action step for this part.
He's jumping.
Action step.
He's gonna
see who you want.
Punch the camera, man.
See who you want to become. Look at the actions you could take to become that person. So let's say you want to be a good salesman, right? Mm-hmm. Look at the actions. This was a great one. When we were in our martial arts season, as we're talking seasons, we're in our martial arts season, and Arnaud had his amateur fight coming up. Mm-hmm. This man would walk around the house shirtless and without no underwear, in boxing shorts all day. That is like fighters. They literally do that when they're not at the gym and they're just in the house. They're shirtless and they're just in boxing shorts and they just walk around the house like that. Mm-hmm. Like he looks like a fighter. Like he has the characteristics. He took the action where he's fighting, and the belief is just him closing his eyes and going, "I'm a great fighter. I'm a great fighter." And you're not deluding yourself. Just changing your belief system. You're not deluding yourself, because if you're taking the action, there's no delusion. I'm a fighter. I'm fighting. Aren't I a fighter then? I'm literally a fighter. Yeah, that's it. You become the identity. Mm-hmm. And the reason why people find it, let's say, I'm going to talk again to the guy in my class, where you're trying to gain weight and you find it very difficult and you keep getting sick and you can't gain weight. Those are all excuses. Please stop. You're telling me that every night you do push-ups. Well, even if you are and you're getting no results, well, that is because you view yourself as this tall, lanky, lazy dude. You need to stop viewing yourself that way. You need to close your eyes, tell yourself, I'm an athlete, bro. I want to be like Shaq. Okay, maybe not like Shaq actually, but I want to gain weight. I want to be whatever. If I'm right now like 160, I want to be 185. I want to gain all those pounds, right? And then you're gonna take the action. And then you want to view yourself. When you close your eyes, think of yourself not as your current state. View yourself as more jacked. View yourself as weighing more. Okay, I'm talking to you directly. I know you're watching this. Please. And when you come back to school and you're probably gonna come talk to me, please don't tell me, no, but I do my push-ups every night. Because if you actually did, you would not be watching this podcast.
You would be doing some other things. And no, that was beautiful. Those was beautiful words. I had something to say. But anyways, I want to know what the people around you are going to impact your goal. How's the people around you going to impact your goals?
Oh, immensely.
It's really going to. Like, for example, if you're in a relationship, like I know most people, actually everyone, they completely change when they're in a relationship. Their goals change, the way they view life change. Or, for example, the people around you, you could say your family, it's going to impact your goals a lot. And it kind of relates to optimizing, where if some people like make your goals less reachable, then these people, you might have to rethink your relationship with them, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. You know? Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, just very simply, everybody knows that you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with. And as was famously said many times, people know this and then they still hang around with fucking losers that don't go to their goals. Sorry, losers is the meaning term. I just mean, like, if you want to be a fighter, guess what this guy did? He was just hanging out with fighters. Mm-hmm. Duh. If you want to become a fighter, hang out with fighters. If we're trying to be salesmen, well, guess what? We're going to hang out around with salesmen. Mm-hmm. If Tate said this a bunch of times. You can disagree with him on a lot of things, but this one thing I don't think you can even disagree with. If you were to sit in a room every single day with all your friends who were ice cream experts and all they talked about was ice cream, well, you know a little bit about ice cream, right? You know that pistachio needs to be kept at this temperature, and then you know that when you're going to be moving the caramel, you can't let it be outside more than 2 hours or else it's fragrance or something. Well, you're going to learn something about ice cream. Mm-hmm. Now just take the thing you want to become, take the person you want to become. It can be school, it can be that you want to, if you actually care about becoming a great dentist, then hang around with people once you're going to be inside that branch at school. Only hang around people who want to become dentists and only talk about dentistry things. And I promise you're going to become a great dentist.
Oh, for sure.
Promise you.
For sure.
If you are some of the 5 people you hang around with, please curate them so much. I've only really got like 3 friends, which is this guy and 2 others, you know who you are. I curated my friend group. I'm not hanging out with anybody who doesn't have goals aligned to them, to the mine, or if they have different goals, they're still equally as intense and trying hard, which is the way, which might be a little bit controversial, but the way I value people is not by who they are, but it's by how hard they're trying. You could be fat, but if I see you in the gym and you're literally training harder than me, well, to me, you're a G.
Yeah.
You're there, you're training harder than me. I'm like, you're a G. My bad.
And it's actually, again, bro, it's actually harder for someone who is not as far in their journey to be in the gym. For me, it's easy in the gym. I said it last podcast. I love going to the gym. It's a terrific time. Nowadays, all my friends are there. You know, I lift some heavy weights. It's fun. But if you're at that lower part, which anybody who started working out has been there, if you're at that part where you're fat and you go to the gym and you kind of feel intimidated, and it's completely natural to be intimidated by the people around, because yeah, if you see like some buff ass like 200-pound dude,
Like the one sitting right next to me.
okay, throwing flowers. If you see some 200-pound dudes like squatting with like 500 pounds, yeah, okay, I get you're gonna be intimidating. They're all grunting. They're all like, I get you're gonna be intimidated, but chances are they've been in the exact same boat as you are. They've been at the exact same place. They didn't know the potential they had. And actually, like, the strongest men in the world are the ones that never trained. Like, they've never been in the gym. So they don't know that they're the strongest men in the world. Brian Shaw is a strong ass dude. He's like, what, 470 pounds, like almost 7 foot. Like, God, damn. But there's a guy stronger than him somewhere in the middle of Africa or somewhere in the middle of Asia. There's some guy that's probably stronger than him. So you just have to get started. And you're gonna get to that point where the gym is just like the best part of your day. Like, I love going to the gym. It's a phenomenal time. But again, it's just changing your paradigm, getting to be that new person you want to be, and that's where the optimization is. Now we're touching up on the 1 hour mark. Something I want you guys to do is go set goals for yourself. Be optimistically realistic, and try to see what you can do right now or what you can change in your lifestyle right now to achieve what you want to do. That's one thing that I want you to take away from this podcast. And you can leave a comment, leave a like, please. I need the algorithm. Seriously, if you guys disagree with anything we say, like, leave them in the comments, because we've had some great comments on the last episode and I completely agreed with the person who left the comments. So yeah, if you leave comments, go ahead. But yeah, do you have anything you want the viewers to leave with in their baggage, if you know what I mean?
At the 1 hour mark?
We're at the 1 hour mark.
I want them to, so not to repeat myself, but, set the goal, be optimistic, realistic. But the first thing I think you need to do is I need to realize, is the person you're hanging around with who smokes weed, maybe you smoke weed, right? Maybe that's your thing, fine. But let's say your goal is getting really fit in the gym. Well, you probably don't want to be vaping while doing that, right? And if you are vaping, or if you're trying to quit video games, you need to really consider, is hanging around with that dude worth more than my life? Is my why is big enough? Is the reason why I want to be in shape, have a successful career or successful business, save my family from inflation and freaking slavery, essentially? I mean, look at your mom, man. She's working like 50 hours per week because you're counting travel, you're counting everything.
Thank your mom for still cooking, by the way, after working all those hours.
Yeah, your mom's a G, I'm certain.
We love her. Whoa.
Okay, we're cutting that part out. But you need to really consider, if your why is big enough, are you really going to keep hanging out with this guy? No, but my friend is funny. But he's not trying. And I know he was in there for you he was with you in the past, but this is a great quote. It might be from Mike Tyson, I'm not certain. Real loyalty is not going down with you. It is saving you from going down. This man is the most loyal friend I've ever had. If I start doing some dumb shit, him being loyal is not him going to do dumb shit with me. It's him grabbing me by the fucking skull and going, are you serious, bro? Gonna sacrifice your why? Gonna sacrifice your freaking family, your future kids to do some stupid shit right now? The action step I really want you to do is look at the friends you're hanging around with and ask yourself, do I really want to be around those guys? And the answer is probably going to be, I don't want to be around them. And are you going to procrastinate for months and months before breaking off those friendships? But you know you have to, because you cannot save them. That has never happened. You talk to your friends 1 time, 2 times, 3 times about self-improvement. If they don't change, if they stay stuck in their ways, even after they've seen this podcast and another one, and they see this message, you need to drop them.
It is sad. It is unfortunate. But you said something that I find was very interesting. And it's about your friends critiquing you and kind of being opposite to what you're doing that's wrong. In the Canadian government, we have what we call opposition. So it's right honorable opposition is usually the party that's right under them
In
the chamber. And in Canada, we believe that opposition is the highest form of loyalty. So you can say your friends are loyal, but listen, when I'm doing some stupid shit, like you said, JP is gonna come here and slap me like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, seriously. And that opposition is the highest form of loyalty. Your friends are actually loyal if they're gonna tell you you have something stuck in your teeth. You know what I mean? They're loyal if they tell you that you're doing something stupid and that you should change the way you are. And then if you don't take, and one thing the way of the superior man said, enjoy your friend's criticism. Especially if your friend's higher up on the self-improvement journey, enjoy your friend's criticism, because that's the highest form of loyalty.
God, that's good.
Exactly, right? And I love to pull the Canadian government. Like, guys, I don't know about y'all, but Canadian politics is really not that interesting, but I find it kind of interesting. Not gonna lie.
I've never watched a political debate, but yes, Arnaud, I agree.
Yeah. No, but it's entertaining. So, again, action steps, optimizing. We've talked about that on the last podcast. You know, there's this one rap quote. How do you say it? I'm gonna say it in French because some might know it. Rapetisser mon cercle pour agrandir mon quadrilatère.
Oh yeah. He made his circle smaller to like basically increase his bank account.
Exactly.
Or his life quality. That's basically the bar is.
Exactly. So do that. You know, it's really hard to cut off your friends, and it's really painful to look at them in the eyes after you've changed as a person. You're a completely different person to the person that they've been. It's really hard, you know.
Sounds good.
It's really hard to do that, and it's really painful. You look at them and you try to help them, and you try to help them. Like I'm doing this right now. We're recording this podcast, and we're trying to help all the people around us. Except helping a friend one-on-one, we're trying to help. We had 120 views on the last podcast. We're trying to help 120 people. You know what I mean? Mm. That's what this podcast is for. If you do find value from this podcast and you do think that, you know, we're saying some good things, try to implement what we're saying in our life. Come see us in person. Come ask us questions. You know,
DM us. Shoot us a DM on Instagram.
My Instagram will be in the bio. His Instagram will be in the bio. Did I change it last time?
We'll check.
Shoot us a DM. Come ask us questions. You know, we might not be the smartest guys in the industry. You know, we might not be the furthest person in the self-improvement journey, but in life, you're a perpetual learner. You keep learning, and you keep becoming a better version of yourself. So the best version of myself should be me at 80 years old. You know what I mean? I'm clueless right now, but. Yeah, like you said, cutting off people, you know, it's really hard, and especially people you're really close with, and you just had to do it because they were making you slower. They were making your goals like regress. That's really tough.
And I have one last like drawing you can imagine. So imagine it's like a drawing of two people speaking, and they've replaced brains and their heart with flowers. So this was on the Chris Williamson podcast with Alex Ramosi, of course, and it is the first guy with. He has a flower for a brain and he has flower for a heart, but the flower is kind of small and it's kind of gray. And he's like, "You've changed." And then there's the second person with just blooming, beautiful, colorful flowers in both their brain and their heart, saying, "Wait, you haven't?"
Exactly.
And you also probably might be watching this. At the beginning of the year, you told me, "Oh, JP, you've changed so much," and that's precisely how I felt. You haven't.
Mm-hmm. And that goes to the math teacher thing. You need to change every day. But yeah, on those beautiful words, we're touching up on the 1 hour mark. We've had a great episode today. It was really grounding. I had some moments, you know. It was really beautiful. If you guys got to this point in the podcast, you're great. Your attention span is like some of the top. We love you. We embrace you. We're grateful. Whoa. We're grateful. Thank you so much for watching. I got a car to go fix, so that's going to be fun. If you guys have any questions, any comments, leave them down below, please. Like, it's making me so grateful to see those comments. Come see me in person. Come ask questions in person. Me and JP, we're always glad to help if you want the help. If you don't want the help, don't come see us. If you just want to complain about the camera quality, go ahead.
And if you think that we sucked this whole time, leave a comment, leave a dislike. Come give me death threats in my email. My Instagram inbox, please. The best feedback is opposition, like you were saying.
Exactly.
Please, if we
it's the highest form of loyalty.
Tell us everything. Like the dude who put a comment the other day, I spoke to you in person. You left a comment disagreeing with us on the points. Oh my God, thank you so much.
You're the best.
It really made me think back on my own beliefs.
And you're a great viewer, by the way, because you actually listened and took time to pay attention to what we actually said and actually thought about it and disagreed. Which is beautiful. We want more of that. And that's the highest form of loyalty. So on these beautiful words, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope today was the best day of your life. And we're going to see you soon. Thank you, JP. Hey, what's up? This is your host again. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to feed the algorithm before you leave. If you have any suggestions or comments, make sure you leave them in the comments. See you in 2 weeks. That was phenomenal.
Oh, that's so great. Yo, my God. It just get better and better.
It's like the last time.
Yo, I'm so hyped. I think I'm pissed though. God.
I really need to go.